I'm going to introduce you to today about Naomi Girma. Naomi Girma is a captain from Stanford women's soccer team, the current national champions of the NCAA. Naomi has been a captain of Stanford since she was a sophomore. Naomi is one of the best defenders in the United States. She's also the captain of U20 U.S. women's national team that won the CONCACAF title in 2020 and will participate in the U20 World Cup in 2021. Naomi's parents immigrated to California when Utopia when they were teenagers. Naomi was born in San Jose, California, and grew up speaking Amharic and English at home. Naomi's first experience with soccer was in a program similar to SWB. Please join me giving me a very warm SWB welcome to Naomi. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Johanna. I appreciate that. First of all, I just want to see where all the defenders are at. Raise your hand. Yes, best position. Okay, so first of all, I just want to congratulate every single one of you on this amazing accomplishment. Graduating high school is no easy task, so I just want everyone to give themselves a round of applause. Woo! And while I wish we could be together celebrating in person, I hope this virtual graduation makes you feel honored because each of you are amazing. I'm not really used to talking about myself, and I wish I could be with you guys to hear all of your stories as well, but I'll try to make myself sound interesting, and I also brought some props to hopefully make this a little more engaging. Okay, so here we go. Like Johanna said, both my parents left Ethiopia and came to America in their late teens and early 20s. And though my brother and I were both born in San Jose, California, we grew up surrounded by the Ethiopian community in the Bay Area. If I'm being honest, my drive to beat my older brother and everything is what introduced me to sports. I first started playing soccer at a neighborhood park with Maleta Soccer, and I brought my first jersey, which was really cool and also way too big for me. And yeah, Maleta Soccer is really similar to SWB, and it was created to gather the Ethiopian community and allow the kids to have fun. It was really informal, and I remember being split up by size into small, medium, and big kids and going after it in many games until we eventually decided it was time to play on the playground. And this environment really fostered my love of soccer and truly allowed me to develop in the place where mistakes were allowed and encouraged. It quickly became evident that I was talented and had a passion for the game that a lot of other kids my age did not. However, my parents did not know where or how to get me involved in an actual league. They asked some parents at my elementary school, but were still hesitant because of the huge time commitment and high cost. Eventually, my best friend dragged me to her team's club practice to see how I liked it. I fell in love and immediately joined the team. I played with that same club team until my sophomore year of high school, and I owe so much to my parents, who both worked full-time jobs and still somehow managed to scram to pick me up from practice. One main thing that I always talk about is how none of my success in soccer would have been possible without the community around me. I was given countless rides and help from surrounding families that did anything to lift me up and help me follow my dreams. The support I received from the Maleta soccer families was overflowing as well. I attribute a lot of my success to this. During high school, I went on to play for the U17, U20 youth national teams. I played in the U17 Women's World Cup in Jordan and the U20 Women's World Cup in France right after my senior year of high school. And this is actually my favorite jersey, just because I liked having my last name on something. So the fall right after the U20 World Cup, I began my journey with Stanford women's soccer. The transition from high school to college was one of the most intimidating but rewarding experiences of my life. It helped me grow into the soccer player and person that I am today. My freshman year, I was lucky enough to get a lot of playing time and develop. As a sophomore this past season, I was voted a captain for the team. This is one of the greatest honors and responsibilities that I've had thus far. Being a leader on my team has forced me to step up and take a bigger role than I was expecting this season. I had some doubts about it at the start of the year and don't think I fully embraced the role until I started believing that I could do it. We went on to win the national championship in my hometown of San Jose, which was the most surreal experience of my life. I remember looking up to the stands and seeing my whole family sitting next to a lot of the families from Malata soccer and the Ethiopian community who helped me get to where I am today. That was by far the best moment of my life. And I brought my favorite trophy. Whenever I was at home, I made a point to go back and play with Malata anytime I didn't have a conflicting game. I say this to encourage all of you to continue your involvement in Soccer Without Borders. Just because you're moving into a new chapter of your life doesn't mean you must leave such an important part behind. You are all excellent role models for all of the younger children in the program, and them seeing where they can be is really important for their growth into young adults like all of you. Soccer has been a dominating factor in my life, second only to my education. School's always been a priority for me, mainly because of my parents when I was younger. But as I got older, I realized it was one of the ways I could go on and make a better life for myself and my family. In this decision to choose what college I would attend, I would say that I looked more into the education rather than how successful the soccer team was. Luckily, it worked out, and Stanford was really good in both, but it was just really important to me that I was getting the best education that I could. I think a large factor in my education has always been myself and my work ethic. My family could never afford a private school, so my education has always been somewhat mediocre for my childhood. However, I always pushed myself in school and worked hard to get the most out of wherever I was. So for all of you, regardless of where your journey takes you in education, I encourage you to make the best of whatever your environment you are in. Just remember that wherever you are is as good as you make it, so always try to make it your best. As you move on from high school, there are many ways you can continue playing soccer and stay involved. I've found that every time I've been on has given me a strong sense of community and friendship, which can sometimes be harder to find in college. If you're going to community college, the soccer teams are a great way to make new friends and continue playing the beautiful game. At four-year schools, walking onto the varsity team is an option. In addition, there are intramural teams and club teams that are also highly competitive. All it takes is asking questions to get connected. Regardless of where you find yourself, I encourage you to ask. Ask how you can get involved or ways you can find a community or good classes to take. That is something I struggled with going into the college system. Many people have parents or resources that can give them answers, so it can be sometimes more difficult without this help. What I've found is every time I ask, there are people willing to help or people who know people that are willing to help. So I encourage you to ask me, ask the Soccer Without Borders staff, ask the alumni, ask your professors, and I promise that you'll be surprised at how receptive people are and how many people truly want you to succeed. One piece of advice that I want to leave you with is to never undermine your experiences. It makes you extraordinary and special. Some other kids will seem intimidating because of all the things they've done academically or the experiences they've had, but at the end of the day, you've done amazing things that myself and others cannot imagine going through. It has made you stronger and has prepared you to take on the world, even if you may not feel that way right now. Using the skills of soccer, education, and community that Soccer Without Borders has taught you will take you a long way, and I can't wait to see all the amazing things you all will do. Congratulations again on your graduation, and best wishes on your next adventure. And thank you for allowing me to celebrate you all on this amazing accomplishment. And one last round of applause for all of you. Woo!